Yo, what is up YouTube? It's your boy Legend and I'm back with another video. You already know what this is just by looking at the thumbnail. Now, if you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe right at it. But without further ado, let's just get into the intro so we can start this what if. Naruto and Sasuke arrived home after closing down their shop for the first day of work. Sasuke was annoyed, not because of the work, but because of Naruto. He would not shut up about the girl he had met that day. Sasuke, I don't think you understand. She's amazing, and I haven't felt like this about someone ever, not even with Sakura. It might sound dumb to you, but the little time I was around her, it felt like my heart was going to jump out of my chest, and she's so beautiful. Sasuke finally slapped the hand over Naruto's mouth. Okay, I get it. Why don't you just go and tell her that you're in love with her or something and stop telling me? Naruto blinked. How was he supposed to do that? It's not like he'd see her again, so it didn't even make sense to him. Naruto sighed as he removed his apron and went to go shower. Now he was depressed. A girl that made him feel so strongly about her, he may not even see again. Naruto took a shower, got out, put on his boxers, and made his way to his bed for sleep. Naruto let out a sigh as he thought of the amazing woman that he had interacted with earlier that day. Meanwhile, Sasuke had an idea of his own. He was going to go out and just do something. He's been following behind Naruto since they've arrived here, and now he just wanted to do something on his own. Sasuke got dressed and left the house, picked up a random direction, and started walking. Soon, Sasuke found his way to the not so nice part of town. The woman on the streets selling their bodies for the few dollars was a dead giveaway, along with the shoes that hung from the telephone poles and wires that ran across them. Cars came down the street with loud music playing and smoke wafting from the windows, giving the smell of a strong burning herb. Sasuke saw this and only shook his head and kept walking. He walked even as the women of the night threw catcalls at him, offering their bodies for an hour of his time and money. It was easy for him to ignore them because they smelled foul. They smelled of cigarettes, old fish, sex, and what makes it worse, the makeup they wore amplified the stench. When Sasuke finally got away from all the hookers, a woman jumped down in front of him and looked him over. She had dark blue hair, a maroon jacket with the top button undone, showing off her ample amount of cleavage, a maroon miniskirt that showed off her mile-long legs, black 2-inch heels, yellow eyes, and she stood at a height of 5 foot 9 inches. She was 3 inches taller than him. Finally done analyzing him, she spoke. I advise you turn around and leave, unless you want me to drop you. Sasuke rose an eyebrow at her. Did she really just say that to him? Sasuke knew he was suppressing himself, but she should at least be able to feel the pressure of his power, yet she really had the audacity to make a threat like that to him. Are you hard of hearing, or are you just a masochist and want me to hurt you? Sasuke looked at her and narrowed his eyes in a way that he would when he was about to cast Amaterasu. If he had his Sharingan active, she'd be dead. Sasuke focused on a large amount of killing intent at her, causing her to stumble back and drop to her knees. She saw visions of her own death, her being burned in fire, being crucified, lynched, versions of him stabbing her to death, her neck getting broken, and her being dissected like some type of science experiment. Said woman panted and swallowed the lump in her throat. She then slowly stood and held her head high as she glared at Sasuke with shaky legs. "I don't know what you did, but you for sure have to die now." The woman held out her hand and formed a yellow light spear, but a voice stopped her instantly. "Collarwinner, stop right now." The girl, now identified as Collarwinner, stopped and looked over to her superior. "Why are you stopping me, Rainier? Just let me kill this troublemaker." Rainier dropped down next to her and slapped her. "No, I'll explain later. Now shut up and let me fix this for you." Rainier turned to Sasuke and dropped to her knees and bowed her head. "I'm sorry for my friend's arrogance and stupidity. She is just doing her job and making sure nobody who isn't supposed to come near one of our many bases of operations. She didn't mean any harm. Please forgive her and let her live." Sasuke looked down at the girl Naruto was smitten with. Whatever. But next time, you may not be there to save her, so I recommend she learn who she can and cannot push around. You saved her life today. And stop bowing to me. I don't want my future sister-in-law bowing to me like some slave. Rainier stood with a massive blush on her face at the comment. What? What do you mean?" Sasuke smirked. "Oh, I don't know if you know this, but Naruto, the guy who fed you ramen, yeah, he's like a brother to me, and right now he's completely smitten by you." With that said, Sasuke opened a portal behind him and stepped into it as it closed, leaving a blushing and shocked Rainier and a shocked and confused Collarwinner. The next day, Naruto sat in his class, bored out of his mind, and his mind wasn't even on any of the classwork. His mind was on the woman who had him smitten. He stared out of the window as he thought of her, and not even Sasuke could get through to him, nor did he want to. But one of the school's great ladies was actively trying to get his attention. Akeno was standing directly in front of his desk, waving her hands in front of his face, calling his name, throwing sexual innuendos at him, and even tapping her hands onto his desk. None of what she was doing was working, and it was irritating her. She wanted his attention, yet he was simply ignoring her. He was so willing to give his attention to that bitch of a fallen angel yesterday, but he couldn't even pay her a damn glance. She developed a crush on him first, and her losing him to the fallen bitch was amplifying it tenfold to near yandere levels. Naruto finally snapped back to reality and turned to her. You say something?" Not knowing it was possible, Akeno managed to blush even more. Yes, I was wondering if you would like to have lunch with me and my friends, Uzumaki-san." Akeno heavily emphasized the "me" portion of the sentence, and Naruto also noticed the emphasis. Naruto gave a sigh before he put on a fake smile. "Yes, thanks for the offer. Naruto looked at her, letting the sentence hang. Akeno, realizing this, felt a small sting to her pride. "It's Akeno Himejima, but you can just call me Akeno, and if you want to take our relationship a step further, you could call me Akeno-chan or Mommy." Sasuke hearing this, chuckled, and Naruto just stared at her. The sexual and intimate innuendo going right over his head. Naruto blinked. He wasn't about to call some girl he just met mom, especially a girl who was his age. Akeno, however, was embarrassed. She slipped up and she really just said that to her crush and made herself look like a complete idiot. I'll just call you Akeno-chan, if that's okay with you. Akeno nodded and skipped away with a glee. Naruto let out a sigh as he stood up and left the class with her as Sasuke came with him. Naruto didn't speak as he walked side by side with Sasuke and Akeno. He just looked down at his feet as he walked. He didn't even pay attention to the vulgar comments made by other students. He just wasn't interested. Sasuke knew this, but Sasuke also knew that he had a surprise set up for Naruto. The three made their way to the cafeteria, got lunch, then made their way to the ORC. As the three walked in, they could hear a shower coming from another room within the old school building. Akeno mentally cursed. If the shower was running, then that meant Rias was here, and Akeno wanted to have lunch with Naruto alone. It's bad enough that his friend came with him. The three sat down on the sofas in the room, Akeno and Naruto sitting together and Sasuke on the opposite couch. Naruto, however, didn't notice how close he and Akeno were sitting. They were hip to hip. So Naruto-kun, I find it very interesting that you're my age and you own a very ramen shop of your own. That's very impressive. Naruto just sat there and stared at the tray of food in his hands, not hearing a single word that Akeno said. Akeno got a tick mark on her head and she raised her voice. Hello? Naruto blinked as he looked over at her. Oh yeah, right, I agree. Naruto then went back to spacing out and being somewhat depressed. This angered Akeno, and she turned her gaze to Sasuke. What the hell is wrong with him? Sasuke simply shrugged. It's not my business to tell. You'll have to get that information from him. Akeno wasn't too keen on being ignored by her crush again, so she took it up a notch and decided to be more bold. She took his tray and sat it down before she straddled his lap and wrapped her arms around his neck, prompting him to look at her in shock. Do I have your attention now, Naruto-kun? Naruto immediately started to blush. He's never had this type of physical contact with a female before. Yes? Akeno smiled with a blush on her face. Good. Now, do you care to tell me what's the matter? Maybe I can make you feel better. Akeno said the last part as she ground her clothed nether regions against his hips, getting an unsettled but pleasurable moan from him. Sasuke rose an eyebrow, unsure if he should stop this or let things play out. I don't think I should bother you with my problems. Akeno leaned in close to Naruto and kissed his earlobe. Oh, come on, I insist. Naruto was now blushing bright red, and his heart was beating out of his chest. Yes, he was smart, he knew tactics, strategies, and other things, but he was completely clueless and vulnerable when it came to women. Well, this girl makes me feel different. It's something I've never felt before. I think I really like her, and I want to tell her how I feel, but I may never get the chance to. Akeno said nothing for a few seconds, as she just took in this information. She was sure he was talking about that fallen bitch. But if he couldn't tell her how he felt about her, maybe she could use the situation to steal him away. Naruto-kun, how about you pretend I'm her, and you confess those feelings to me? Sasuke, seeing where this was going, started to chuckle in his head. If it were him in that situation, he would just place a genjutsu on her and leave. Sasuke adjusted his position on the opposite couch to get more comfortable and watched the amusing scene in front of him. Naruto looked at Akeno for a second. The visage of Rainier enveloped her. He blinked, and it went back to Akeno. The two of them felt the same in terms of energies. The only difference was Rainier was to him a tad bit stronger than Akeno, but Akeno had more hate in her. The two smelled similar, almost like they were siblings, but Naruto knew that wasn't plausible. Naruto took in a deep breath before he went to speak. I've never felt like... Naruto and Sasuke then heard the small squeak of a floorboard, like someone was trying to walk silently onto it. Naruto pushed Akeno off of him and tossed 3 kunai in the direction of the sound. His face quickly soured when he realized that he had just tossed deadly weapons at a very wet and towel-covered Rias' grimoire. Judging by the trajectory of the kunai, one would hit Rias in the shoulder, stunning her. The next would pierce her heart, bringing her close to death. And the last would pierce her skull, killing her instantly. Yup, Naruto seriously fucked up this time around. The sad part was that Rias was unaware of the blades flying at her at high speeds. Heavenly hand power. Sasuke quickly swapped places with Rias as he caught each kunai out of the air. Everything happened so fast that Akeno barely knew what happened. And all Rias knew was that she was just teleported across the room and saw one of the new kids catch 3 silver objects and glare at the blonde. Naruto, you're an idiot. Let's go, now. This you is just appalling and weak. Naruto's anger flared, but he quickly quelled it, not wanting to cause harm to innocent civilians in his eyes. Naruto sighed before he went off in a poof of smoke, leaving Sasuke to bow his head. I'm sorry for my friend's misstep. I'll make sure it won't happen again. But guys, I'm going to end it off right here. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe while you're at it. But without further ado, I'm out and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.